Everybody, welcome back to Spurs 9501 podcast. I've got Stephen from the Vermont Spurs Supporters Club with me, and he's going to give us his reactions on the 3-1 win at Sheffield United. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No problem. You're most welcome. So, Stephen, tell us about what your thoughts were on the new formation that Jose played. We think it's a 5 at the back, 3 at the back with the roving wingers. What's your thoughts on the new formation?
I said going into the game, if we lined up the same way we had been the last couple of games, it was going to be very difficult for us. Sheffield, pretty much all season has been playing the 5 at the back, which seemed to be Spurs' kryptonite in a way. Yeah. So a formation change was definitely needed. It wasn't the one I was expecting. I was almost expecting, a partnership with Kane and Vinicius up top. But it looked like this one was particularly effective. We were able to dominate on the wings. We were able to get the width in there, play way more fluidly than we had in the last couple of games. And I mean, the results speak for themselves. We got the win. Yep. It looked, the scoreline looked like it was a little more flattering than maybe many of us would have expected after, 1-1, 1-1. 1-0, so it was nice to get a couple of goals in there and to really be convincing for a change. Much needed for sure.
Yeah. Do you think this formation was just a one-off to combat Sheffield United because they play with that way, or do you think it's something he may use in other matches as well?
I think we might see it again, especially for teams that are going to play that 5 at the back and try to, limit Spurs space in the in their attacking third. I don't think that this is going to be something that we see against Liverpool, for example, coming up. It's just not something I see as being particularly effective. If we were to play a similar formation, I don't think it would be 3 at the back. I think we would end up more with a 5 at the back situation for a Liverpool where we're going to be defending and then looking to counter hard. But I think that this is a tactic that I would very much like to see again, especially for those clubs that like to park the bus against us.
Knowing Mourinho, it'll probably be 8 at the back against Liverpool. But anyway, we'll see about that. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So what did you enjoy about the match? And then we'll talk about what you didn't like about it. Tell us what you enjoyed about the match, how you think we played.
I thought we played particularly well. Some of the standouts for me, Rodon in there, he had some huge defensive numbers. I think he led in just about every defensive category, interceptions, clearances, you name it. He was all over the place, much more of a rock at the back than maybe Sanchez was last game out. When he was going forward, you almost felt like he was confident and comfortable on the ball. Yeah. Whereas, in the previous game with Sanchez at the back, you felt, he's out of position. This is leaving us vulnerable. So it was a big step up there. Ndombele playing out of position, I think it took him a little bit to get into the game and find his rhythm. But once he found it, he just bossed it right through the middle, unplayable again. He was immense, and his goal was just spectacular.
The goal of the season, I think.
Seriously. I remember, watching Bergwijn play that pass in him and thought, oh, no, the chance is lost. Yeah, that's it. And he made me eat my words immediately.
Yeah. Great goal. Amazing.
Aurier and especially Reguilon on the left-hand side there, he was incredible as well going forward. He seems to be so confident when he's able to attack. He's hungry. He wants that goal, which is something that I don't know that you really expect from a defender, but it's sad to see he wasn't the one who got it. Aurier was the one.
Yeah.
But, credit where it's due. He put himself in there. Another opportunity off of a corner where I thought, well, it's a corner. Nothing's going to happen. We don't score off corners. Yeah. Again, I ate my words. It was an incredible performance all around. So happy to see it.
Excellent. And in terms of, were there any negatives for you in the performance?
Negatives, I think after the first goal, it looked like we were going to sit back a bit more, which I didn't really like. We let Sheffield grow into the game, which isn't something you want to see from a team that has 5 points on the season so far. I think that there's still plenty of room for Spurs to really grow into whatever tactics Jose is throwing out there. But we really need to stomp out this. We're a goal up. Let's sit back and take the pressure off. You got to kill the game, especially when it's that early on. I don't want to see Spurs sitting back for 85 minutes with a 1-0 lead, trying to defend it. Yes, it's Sheffield. Yes, they don't score, but we saw it. They got the goal. If it was 1-0 still, completely different game, I think. The fact that we had the advantage at 2 up, and then we were able to get that third is really what made it so comfortable for us. Yeah. Completely different game if Spurs kept sitting back and didn't push forward some more.
Yeah, well, Son had that chance where he hit the post, didn't he? Really? If he puts that away, then it's 2-0. But it's a fine margins, really, isn't it? I mean, I was like you at 2-1. I thought, here we go again. But luckily, we got the third. But what do you think about the substitutions Mourinho made, bringing Vinicius on with 89 minutes gone? I mean, is there any point in bringing anybody on that late? What's the point?
No, I think those were more to just kill the match. Let's waste some time, disrupt the rhythm. I thought it was very unusual. I was expecting, that 60-minute sub for Ndondele that we've seen so many times. Yeah. I was surprised that he got the 90 minutes. And not only that, he looked good for 90 minutes. He was sprinting right at the end. He didn't look like he was, out of breath or really laboring at all. 89, 90 plus minutes to bring Sanchez on. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, but I guess, the bright side is we don't have a game for another week. So he's able to kind of let them continue. They're performing well. I don't really recall seeing anybody who deserved to be substituted. Mm-hmm. So I think this is more of a case of Jose thinking, well, we've got the time to recover. Nothing's going wrong. Let's just use the subs for time wasting and, get the 3 points. And we got it. We got the win. Now we can look forward to our next game.
What's the issue with a couple of things? Why do you think he's not playing Toby Alderweireld?
I think in this particular instance, it was a different set of tactics. Toby, for as good as he's getting up there in age. And if he's going to play a high line, you really need somebody who's got the speed to get back and cover if there is a breakaway. I don't know that Toby necessarily has that for this particular situation. He's a defender who is at his best when he can see the game in front of him and position himself so he doesn't need to make those sprints backwards. I think we'll see him again, especially for Liverpool. I would be shocked if we didn't see Toby in the starting lineup for Liverpool. It's, that's a game that would suit him very well. For me, it's just tactics. I don't think he's done anything to deserve being pulled out. I think that, Jose needed to try something different, and he did, and it worked. So I think, we'll definitely be seeing more of Toby. But for me, it makes sense that he wasn't playing.
I think we miss his distribution, those long diagonal balls that he does. I think we miss his distribution, but you're right. Maybe he'll be in for the bigger games. And
yeah, for sure.
What about the fact that no Sissoko, no Winks? Did you think, again, he was just trying a different formation, or what do you think's happening there?
Yeah, I do think it was 100% down to formation. I think that he wanted to counter on the wings. Yeah. And to do that, you needed, Aurier and Reguilon in their, kind of free positions out on the sides where they don't have to worry about defending as much. They can get forward and attack. It just opens up different options for us that we might not necessarily get with a Sissoko or a Winks, who is going to play more centrally and try to find the space, right in front of them instead of out wide. In this case, it works. I think it was the right thing to do. Again, it's 100% on the tactics. I don't think we're going to see this as, our starting 11 going forward for every game. I think we'll see Winks and Sissoko back, hopefully not together. I don't think that they play well together.
They should play together now, ever.
But, one or the other, I think we'll see them, especially for the cup match. I wouldn't be surprised. Liverpool for sure.
Okay, but, great analysis. Steve, one last question I want to ask you is, and it's a big question being asked by fans all over the UK, all over the world, is why is Gareth Bale not playing? What do you think the answer is?
It's another tricky one. There's a lot of speculation. Jose's come out and he said, there's nothing going on. There's nothing to it. He's a Spurs player. He's on loan for the end of the season. The typical stuff you would expect your manager to say. For me, I mean, he plays in the cup games. He plays in Europa League. It's not like he's not getting minutes. I just think that Jose's being selective with the minutes. He's not coming in to be the starter that I think a lot of us expected him to be. But he's certainly that sort of super sub that we might need at times, whether it's, working his way back to fitness or if there's, something going on behind the scenes. Maybe he's not training as well as some of the other guys. I honestly wouldn't be surprised, if you think about his time at Real Madrid, especially towards the end, he wasn't playing, he wasn't doing much training. I think that some of the guys that he's fighting for spots with Bergwijn, Lucas, maybe they're just putting in the effort in training and they're the ones who are getting selected as a result. That seems the more likely scenario for me. But, you see him on the side, he's all smiles, he's happy. From the look of it, it doesn't look like he's sulking on the bench or anything. I think he's still getting his opportunities. They might not be as plentiful as we would have expected, but they're there. It's up to him to, really make his case. And for anybody, I think Jose said it best. He's not a manager who freezes people out and they never play for him again. If you put the effort in, if you work, you can get back into the squad. You can get a starting spot. And Ndombele, I think, prime example. Yeah. Put the effort in. You're right there. He's your guy again. Yeah. But again, I don't think we as fans get to see what goes on in training. We don't know who's doing what. But I'm inclined to believe Jose in this. If he puts the effort in, I think we'll get to see him a lot more. If not, then he's going to be limited to cup appearances and substitutions.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Well, great analysis of the match. Really appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you on the next analysis after our next FA Cup match. So come on, you Spurs, great. And we'll see you on the next time match. Thanks very much, Steve.
Sure. Thanks.